All right. Thank you, everybody, for coming to our first virtual team meeting. I'm excited. I know Jamie's going to kick it off. Greg will be jumping in about 10 or 15 minutes. He had something else at 1 o'clock, but he had some stuff he did want to share with you guys. So we'll squeeze him in once he jumps on the call. So Jamie's going to get us started. I've got a couple things to go over, but really the reason most of you are here today, I assume, is for our awesome listing panel that we have set up with some of these amazing agents that are going to share some great information with you guys. So I'll hand it off to Jamie and we'll take it away.
Awesome. Thanks, Kieran. Well, welcome you guys. I first of all want to just have the panel jump on. If you can just say you're here, and I'm not able to see that much, but just you're here. We're excited. You're going to be sharing today. So where's our panel?
I'm here.
Okay. Hi, Kevin.
Hi.
Everybody enjoyed you so much. All of the agents that you're going to hear from on the panel, everyone has heard from before. So people are super pumped. Who else is on? Anybody else? Nikki, where are you?
I'm right here.
Okay. Hey. And then Patrick, where are you? And then Joanna. Laura, Rhodey can't be on today, but we are going to share something that she sent over a little bit later. But, you know, I've gotten so many texts and just correspondences about this panel. I'm super excited. We don't really want to take a whole lot of time of doing too much except listening to all of you guys. And I just want to, first of all, thank you for being on and just sharing your knowledge with all the agents. And for those of you who have tuned in, I know you're going to benefit greatly from these agents and their experience and all the wisdom that they're going to share today. Before we get started, let's go ahead and have Kieran go over our numbers for the month of March. So you want to do that, Kieran?
Sure. Let me get my PowerPoint here. Ooh. All right, so just a couple things real quick, just a couple housekeeping items. So for those of you who don't know, there's a Facebook group called Pivot Shift Ahead. I would write that down if you're not already a member and go ahead and join that group. It's not a Keller Williams group. It's open to the entire industry, but there are live trainings, recorded videos, Facebook Live clubs going on, all kinds of things that are happening inside that Facebook group to provide a tremendous amount of value to agents while we're dealing with this kind of unique situation. So Pivot Shift Ahead is the Facebook group. Make a note of that and jump in. There's some awesome resources in there. Also real quick, Bold Pivot is the new format of Bold that they've come up with. And I'm not going to spend too much time on this because we're going to have somebody talking about it later in the week on one of our calls. But basically, you're going to be able to attend Bold virtually for only $99. Bold is usually $800 to attend, and I've never had anybody go who didn't say it was worth every single penny. And you're able to go through this new virtual Bold experience for only $99. So there's a little bit of information up there. It starts the beginning of May, so you've got about 3 weeks to get signed up if you want to attend. It's going to be amazing. They're rewriting all of the content to be relevant to the market of the moment. So everything we're dealing with right now in the market, that's what this is going to be targeted towards. So reach out to myself or Jamie or Maureen for more information on that if you're interested. But I would encourage people to really take advantage of that. It's unheard of to be able to go through this level of a training program for only $100. It's amazing.
And Dusty's going to be on one of our Zoom calls next week.
Right? Yep.
Okay.
And then we have Rich Carpenteri tomorrow, and he's a Bold coach too, so I'm sure he'll be able to give us a little information on it.
Absolutely. Awesome.
All right, so a little bit of recognition. So in March, we had 3 of our associates hit the cap. So that was Janelle Bates, Lorraine Dorinzi, and Mike Martino. I don't know if any of them are on the call today, but congratulations to them. Great job, guys. They all hit their cap in March. Next, we had a few of our agents have either their first listing or first closing with us. So first listings, Janice Reed, Brian Gibson, and Edith Segedi all took their first listing with us. And then Sandra Kirkpatrick had her first closing at our office. So congratulations to all those agents. Great job. And then we have our top producers for March. So of course, you guys know we have 3 categories: individual agents, teams, which is 2 licensees working together, and then groups, which is more than 2 licensees on the same team. So for closed units and closed volume, Janelle Bates was our top individual agent. Listings taken, Jerry and Terry Brown tied. Listings taken volume, Susie Colaz. Contracts written and contract written volume, Janelle Bates also was the top individual agent in March. Patrick Brogley, kind of ran away with it on the team side last month. Opal Homes finished top in every category. So great job, Patrick. And then for our groups, we had a little more variety there. Closed units and closed volume, Laura and Matt's team, Sarasota Gulf Coast Realtors. Listings taken and listings taken volume, Kim and Phil's team, the Paxton group. And then contracts written and contracts written volume. Looks like Nikki and Drew and their team were very busy over at Sarasota Home Specialists in March writing new business. So great job to all of you guys.
Awesome. Amazing.
And then our top growth partners last month. And a growth partner is somebody who sponsored a new associate joining our office. So these are the folks who are named as a sponsor that don't work on the staff this past month. So all of these folks, Laura Rode, Kate Ackerman, Patrick Bucko, Gary Turner, Rosa Payson, Patrick Rogley, and Seth Westerberg all had somebody join our organization and name them as a sponsor. So thank you so much to your guys' commitment to our growth. And thank you for helping those people find a home for their real estate careers. All right, so numbers last month. So these are the office numbers. Closed units, 120 units. So we had a pretty busy month for closings for $43 million in closed volume. We took 61 new listings for $26 million. We sold 42 of our own listings for just over $16 million. We wrote 116 new contracts. So that was just over $42 million. And then the one you guys care about, you earned over $1 million in commission last month. So big, big month for you guys in commission. Congratulations to all of you. So great, great month. And I know I'm blowing through this stuff pretty quick, but I want to get to the listing panel as soon as possible. So that's all I have. Greg, you are on the call. So you said you had something you wanted to go over before we jumped into the listings?
Yeah, just quickly, Florida Realtors has come out with a new form. It's called Coronavirus in Person. It's basically a disclosure for the buyers and for the sellers about the coronavirus virus. And it's also, you know, it's one of those things to cover you for showing about the virus. So I'd like to see everybody use it as much as possible. And it's just an all-encompassing form to tell them, hey, everybody knows the virus is out there. You are going into this house. You don't know. It's to ensure that people don't knowingly go into a house that have the virus. All right. So just take a read of it and please take a look at it. And that's it for my broker moment for this week. I'm going to turn it back to everybody else.
Thanks, Greg. Appreciate it. So we're going to go right into the panel, and I've got some really great questions. So I don't know how to pull. Can we pull all the panel up in one screen, Kieran, or is it going to just be individually? As I
can see if I can spotlight multiple people, but I think it's just going to be whoever's speaking. So if everybody just has their speaker view.
Can you put them in one room?
Well, yeah, but then the rest of us won't be able to see them.
Oh.
Let me see if I can spotlight more than one person. So
and before I bring them on, I know Maureen wanted to share just about 2 minutes about what's going on with Ignite and any new news that she's got going on with newer agents.
Okay, so I can't spotlight more than one person. So basically, if everybody just has their Zoom window set to speaker view, whoever's speaking will just pop up and you'll be able to see them.
Okay.
All righty. So, hi everybody, and congratulations for all those wonderful numbers. So proud to be part of this company. It's just awesome, awesome, awesome. So thank you for always making my heart smile. So I want to talk to you a little bit about launch tomorrow at 3:30. If you have been a Keller Williams agent for less than a year, this is particularly from you. The region is sponsoring a workshop, and it's actually going to be a panel of agents who are new to our profession, and they are going to tell you what they're doing. They're doing some awesome things. So everybody is invited, but most particularly agents who have been here less than a year. You'll be getting a link to that, but I just want you to book 3:30 tomorrow in your calendar. Second thing is I am looking for mentors. Jamie and I are, as you know, really dedicated to bringing mentors into our program. So I'd love to hear from you. Jamie would love to hear from you. We need you, and most of all, our agents need you. And lastly, Ignite is almost in the home stretch. It's been really wonderful experience doing 2.0. And I would encourage you, if you have team members if you are an agent who hasn't done 14 or more transactions in a year, think about coming into the Ignite group, even if you want to pop in just to see what goes on in there, because it's really quite a group, and you'd really get something from it. And of course, I'll probably be reaching out to some of you to see if you would like to say hello to the Ignite folks and share some of your wisdom. That's it for me. Thank you.
Thanks, Maureen. All right, so you guys know our meeting's about show me the listings and we'll show you the money, and that's why we have these experts that you're gonna get to hear from today. And so I'd like them first to just start off by just sharing their name, how long have they been in real estate, and you know, what excites them most? What are they most passionate about with what they do? So Kevin, why don't we start with you, Kevin Kendrick.
So my name is Kevin. I am in Orlando, Florida, and I spoke to your office last week, so thanks for having me back. And I have been with Keller Williams. I joined in 2014, but I didn't sell a home until 2015. And this past year, in 2019, I think we sold just over $22 million. And so far this year, in the last 4 weeks, we've lost about $5 million worth of contracts because of COVID-19. So we're ready for COVID to be over. And what excites me, we're passionate about relationships and getting to know our customers.
Awesome. Nikki?
Hi guys, Nikki Betts here with Sarasota Home Specialists. So my husband has been in the business for 6 years and I've been in it for 4 now. I'm very passionate about seeing our agents succeed, because especially when they feel like they have roadblocks in front and that they can't reach their goals, that is our main focus, is making sure that we get them on track. And I love helping sellers. Buyers, Drew's my buyers guy. I don't do buyers. Sellers only.
Awesome, thank you. Joanna, what about you?
Hi, how's it going? I joined the company this week. I joined your office particularly. I've been with Keller Williams since 2016. It was just, I wanted to work more in the downtown Sarasota area. So thank you. I'm very excited to be in your office. And I like working with both sellers and buyers. I closed 24 million last year. I was the top individual agent in my office and in the top 5 in the entire region at the summit. I was in October awarded, but more than that, it's just, my passion is just helping people. I do a lot in the schools, so I do always give back. Through every closing, I'm always donating money, and it's just a great industry. And it is slowed down quite a bit, but I'm figuring out ways to get business keep going.
Awesome, thank you, Joanna. And Patrick, you. What
Hi, I'm Patrick Brogley with the Opal Homes team, and I'm really grateful to be here, honored to be able to share with you guys. Really appreciate the opportunity that we have here as a Keller Williams agent and office to be able to share our experiences. I mean, that's so valuable. So I got into the business in 2017, first full year. And what drives me is what everybody else said, is relationships and the opportunity to be of service, to help people, to be an integral part of their life through a period of time of, let's say, 3, 6, 9 months, a year, to have an intimate relationship with them, to be able to move them from point A to point B.
Thanks, Patrick. Okay, here's our next question. What has your change in conversation been when circle prospecting? And we'll just stay in this order, or whoever's wants to go first. Who'd like to go first on that question?
I'll go real quick, just because we've kind of changed. So our circle prospecting, we have about 11 or 12 active listings. Obviously, we're looking for buyers, but we're looking for people who own Airbnbs and VRBOs. What we found is in the Orlando market, I'm sure in Sarasota as well, vacant homes show a lot better than homes that have people living in them. And a lot of the vacation homes are vacant, and they also don't have any income coming in. So we've listed 3 or 4, and all of them have gone under contract with multiple offers within 48 hours. And so that's I can't share that to my Orlando market because then all the agents are calling Airbnbs and VRBOs. But that's what we've been focusing on, and we've been doing raffles and giveaways for, even if they stayed at an Airbnb, send me their name and the address so we can call them because we want them to sell.
That's awesome. Thank you, Kevin. Nikki, what about you?
We have gone that same route, actually. We've been hitting on Airbnbs because we knew a lot of them in the, especially Minnesota, Venice area, that they bought those as an investment, and they have mortgages, so they need to have it paid. Otherwise, they're in a hurting unit if they don't have rentals for a while. Also, in our circle prospecting for Just Listed and for our sales, it's been more so of a conversation, making sure that they're staying safe. What is their neighborhood doing to stay safe? Sharing some information that we've gathered together on how they can stay safe in their neighborhood and help their neighbors out to make it more fun. But then also having a conversation in there intertwined of, have you had any interest in selling, and updating them on what the market's doing currently. And then from there, we really we're segmenting out our market from 300,000 below, 300,000 to 550, and then 550 and above, because there's quite a bit of difference in what's happening in each of those markets.
Okay, awesome, terrific. Patrick, Joanna, do you want to add to that?
Go ahead, Joanna.
Well, basically, I've still been calling on some expired. I'm really basing it on the market right now. And since there are such fewer homes on the market, you've seen a huge drop in the past 2 weeks. I try to explain to them, it is the smartest time to list. I don't want my sellers waiting, because I think we're gonna have a flux of homes on the market after coronavirus, after they release a lot of things. So I'm trying to get people to jump on board now. And if not now, at least get them signed with that paper that they can go on in a month or so.
Okay, great. Patrick?
Actually, I have not been doing a whole lot of circle prospecting at this particular moment in time. I've done a lot of circle prospecting in the past, just sort of shifting into really reaching out to the database at this particular moment, as opposed, unless we have somebody with a specific need, you know, a buyer that's looking for something particular that's not available on the market, then we're going to be calling that neighborhood and finding out if, you know, if they have the willingness or consideration regarding what their property might be worth.
Okay, thanks. All right, our next question is, how have you overcome objection of fear with the seller? Nikki, you go first.
So it's really being empathetic with their fears, because we can't just discount how they're feeling. There's a lot of fear out there. So if you're empathetic with it, and then you lay out the facts, and something we've been working on with our agents is overcoming that first objection and getting back to the root of why were they looking at selling in the first place, or why were they looking at buying in the first place. If you keep that at the forefront and you take out this equation and they would still sell or still buy, then you've already overcome a huge barrier. So it's really just having an educated conversation with them and knowing our facts and showing them different charts, different data, so that they're able to do that. And we do that via Zoom. Zoom has been, we've used it in the past, but now we've really just tripled down on it and used it even more.
Okay, thanks. Anybody want to add to that? Kevin?
Well, to piggyback what Nikki said, I think what Nikki said was, I think, excellent and amazing. I actually had a listing just over a phone call today. But what we've done is we've actually, especially if there's kids in the house, a lot of people, you know, there's fear. So we tell them about the steps that we do before we even let a buyer into the home during this time period. And we were blessed. We were doing video before COVID-19. So all of our listings have video. But we always ask the buyer's agent to make sure that they've seen the pictures, that they've seen the video, that they're pre-approved. And then we ask them when they call, and we ask them, how many homes have you shown to your customer? Well, we've seen 20. Okay, well, then your buyers aren't serious. We want serious buyers. You know, we want people who are going to see 4 homes and they're making a decision, 5 homes and they're making a decision. And when we laid that out to our sellers and said, look, I'll show your home to anybody, because obviously we want to go with the direction, every single seller's agreed. We want serious buyers, A buyers only. We don't want anyone else. So it makes it easy. Today we turned down 2 showings because they're like, well, we're showing 10 homes on Thursday and 10 homes on Friday, and then we're going to make a decision. Well, you're showing 19 because our sellers don't want to show. And they've given me been blessed, going back to a lot of the agents have talked about relationships, that they trust us. They use the word trust and say, we trust you. If you call us for a showing, we trust that it's in our best interest. If you cancel a showing or reject a showing, it's okay. Don't even tell us.
Yeah, huge. Thanks, Kevin. Joanna, you want to add?
Just agree with that. I definitely would send samples of my virtual tours because a lot of them are done through drone as well. And people don't even have to go into the house a lot of times. I've sold properties based on my photos and video alone. So just alleviating the fear. And when they see the video and they see that it can be done that way and they can get out to a lot of people through videos. That's why you have to really be on the video game right now.
Okay, thanks. And Patrick?
Yeah, same thing. Exactly what Kevin had stated. Every single request that comes through on every single one of our listings, and especially the ones that are owner occupied, we want to make sure that these people are ready, willing, and able to move forward. And what we're finding is that most of the people that are in our marketplace right now, if they're looking at real estate, chances are they're pretty motivated. They have a condition in place that requires them to be able to make a move, to be able to do so sooner rather than later. And we want to make sure that they have a pre-approval, that they have a proof of funds, that they've driven by the home, that they like the area, and that they've taken a look at all the photos and any other virtual tour that we have. We're also investing in our own 360 tours at this moment. And I think that's going to be very valuable, especially even going forward. And I think that the consumers in our marketplace will be expecting that much more so, even after coronavirus passes.
Yeah, awesome. The next question is, what is your best source?
What is the what? I
Broke
didn't
out.
hear you.
Your best listing source? Like where do you find the most listings? How are you getting your listings? Your best source?
I can
I
start.
can answer.
That is a question from our broker, Greg Owens.
So ours is from two. It's from our database, so our buyers in our database, if they have a home to sell or a referral. And then our second source is honestly circle prospecting. It's making sure that you're touching those neighborhoods that you already know a lot about, and you've had a buyer in there or you've had buyers shown in there because of a listing. You know that that's a hot market. So it's really making sure that you're using your knowledge to your power.
Okay, thanks. Anybody else? Patrick?
Yeah, I'll go ahead. I would definitely say expired listings number one by far, and then database and Sphere is number two, and I would say the third is for sale by owners. And and when I say database, I mean like past clients, Spheres, and people that we're connected to, vendors and things of that sort. But expired listings, I would say about 50%. And it's just because we do it regularly, it's every day.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. Joanna?
Definitely my database through all my care calls that I've done already, letting them know that I am still in business and not asking for business, but letting, just touching base with them and seeing how they're doing, if they need anything, and just staying in touch with my database. I get a lot through referral base.
Okay, thanks. Kevin?
We're farmers and we still farm. We just farm differently. So we just did our first reverse bold 100 where we were giving away free meals. But it was a free meal that you could win, but then someone else gets one. We didn't get 100 calls. I won't lie, I was disappointed. But we had 42 phone calls, 42 people who called us that we knew, and we got 9 leads out of it. And so, but in Orlando, we farm schools, we farm the hospitals, and we farm our community. And to Joanna's point, she was talking about working with teachers. Well, if this lasts longer, who has jobs? Teachers have jobs and nurses have jobs. Mm-hmm. And guess what? They get married and they buy houses and they sell houses. We just took food to the 3rd floor of Nemours Children's Hospital. 25 nurses per shift. And so it cost us $150, maybe $200 to pay for nurses' food. Well, we've sold 2 homes to 2 of the nurses there. It's a no-brainer. So we're still farming. We're just farming differently. can't go to the third floor of Nemours, but they know who it's coming from.
Right.
I appreciate that, Kevin. And for those of you that didn't hear his farming training that he did, you all can go back to the YouTube. Any of the agents that you're listening to today, you guys can watch the recording, send them out on our YouTube channel. So Kieran can maybe post that on here or tell you guys how to get that when we're finished. But Joanna, what were you going to say?
My last closing was a husband-wife couple, and they were both doctors working in the emergency room. So I went over to their house that we closed on, and I dropped off 50 masks that I made. So yeah, I do work with teachers and doctors. It's been, even though they're all in business, it's harder with the teachers because I'm not getting into the schools as much anymore. So, I don't think they're going to be going back to school this year, so we don't know how long this is going to last. So definitely, doing things like they gave out, I think, 8,000 meals at Lakewood Ranch High School last week. So, and a lot of families you saw were upper and middle class. So many people lost their jobs, and this has affected them in so many ways. So thinking about giving back to the community, is very important right now.
I think that's just huge. I'm so glad you said that. That's huge, 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 huge. Okay, our next question is, what is your most successful script? Another Greg Owens question.
I can start. So, well, first, when I'm talking to any client right now, it's asking them, are you healthy and are you safe? Especially if we know if they're still working, like we work with a lot of the sheriff's department, they're still working. So asking them, how's your family? How's your wife doing teaching the kids? Is there anything we can do for you? And then asking them, have you had any thoughts of buying or selling in the next 6 months because you've been stuck at home and you figured out that maybe you want a pool now or your backyard's not big enough for your kids to run around in. That's been very successful for us in gaining our listing pipeline, is because they are figuring out little odds and ends of their home that they don't like anymore. And also we're coming from contribution of, can we drop off pizza for you? We just did that for homeschool pictures. Any parent that turned in a homeschool picture, we went and dropped off pizza last Friday so that they could have lunch for their kids. So it's just coming up with different ways to try to service everybody, and they're all online right now. Like they're scrolling through Facebook, especially the moms when they're getting sick of virtual learning. Trust me, I've been there, it's hard. They're scrolling through there and making sure that they're not missing something out in the real world because they're feeling like they're going crazy. So any way that you can relieve them or teachers, this is all new for them as well. So think outside the box. Don't think so much about, oh, it's the regular script of, oh, you're looking to buy? Okay, no, you're looking to sell? Nope, buy next one. No, it's building the relationship and that connection with them and trust.
Yeah, absolutely. That's good. So good. Anybody else want to add to that? Kevin, you want to add to that?
I don't really have a script that I've been using recently. It's just going back to Nikki's point, it's just having a natural conversation and hearing what their goals are and how you can help them reach their goals. And I think that's very key, and just being very honest and transparent with the current market. And, we were getting 7 to 10 showings at all of our homes weekly in Lake Nona, and now we're getting 0 to 1. And that's what we're telling people. But that one person's, they're a buyer. So that's all we need.
Yeah, I think it's the more authentic. If you're authentic, it's all good. People can see it when you're not authentic. So
I think you also have to think outside the box. It's not so much of a script on when you're with a call with them anymore, because they might not be answering because they are busy with virtual learning or their job that they're working at home from. So really utilize video. Text and phone calls aren't getting very far right now with people. They're still answering. It's not that one-on-one connection. So if you're sending them an actual video and you have that script in a video and what your value is and how can I help you and coming from contribution, your face-to-face is their business to business right now online, because we can't see them in person. So utilize video. Even if you are scared of technology, you have to be tripling down on it right now.
And while we're on that subject, how is your return on your social media and any ad, you know, when you run ads and things like that, Nikki? What's your return on that? And anybody else that wants to answer the question?
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, I think a lot of people look for it to be an instant gratification thing. It's more so of branding. It piggybacks what your already activities are that we already know that we have to do as salespeople and as a realtor in business. So it piggybacks what you're doing every day. So when they keep seeing you out there, they're seeing these new ways of, oh, I can submit a photo and I can win something, or I can do a comment or share some positivity for once in the world. It really changes their mindset. So making sure that you're still active out there, something that we've put into place because we did a 30-day plan for all of our agents, because you really can't look at it as a 90-day, 6-month, or even our year goals. We kind of threw those out the window for right now. We need to make sure that we have a 30-day plan, and something I set for them, because most of you know I'm huge on social media, so I'm on it every day. It's just one of my habits that I've developed. So trying to get them in that habit of making sure that they're liking 10 things, they're commenting on a couple things, and not just going through and liking it, but actually having a connection to it, and then making sure that they're doing a live and they're doing videos. And it's not one's particularly on Facebook or on realtor.com. It's like Kara. If you guys follow Kara Blake, she does TikToks with her son and they're stinking hilarious. So if you just watch those, like, that resonates with people, and you build a relationship outside of your business, and then you'll naturally get those referrals. We get them all the time in our inbox of, hey, I saw you. I know we haven't talked in a while. My friend's moving here, or my friend needs to sell their house because her husband got a job transfer out of state. It's just that natural way to do it. So don't think so much of instant gratification.
I appreciate you saying that. I had shared with an agent earlier that if all you're pushing out on your social media is real estate, people are turned off by that. You know, they need to know who you are and stick with your brand and you being authentic to who you are. Because a lot of times what will happen is people will try to copy somebody else, but they're not that somebody else. So it comes off not authentic. So whatever lane you run in, just run in that with social media. And I do notice your social media a lot. And I want to point one other thing out, and that is the storyline, you know, really using the story more. Those of you that aren't using your story, your life story, to make sure that you're doing that. Do you want to share a little bit about what you do on that? Because I know you do a lot of that.
Yeah, stories. So stories started on Instagram, and it's something that what you post on, whether it's your feed or your Instagram feed, is more so of something that is a huge resignation of, you know, this is life. This is something, a milestone. Stories are just of your day-to-day. So whether it's we call it meds on our team, it's meditation, education, diet, and sleep. And that's what we've really pushed out now, because not just us, everybody in the world really needs to focus on their personal health as well, to make sure that they get through these times and that they do have the energy and the strength and motivation to push through each day. So like you guys can go look at our Facebook or Instagram, and you'll see that we just posted Adams today, and we posted our other agents. We're doing this over the next couple of weeks to show them that we're real life people. We have to actually focus on ourselves too, in order to make sure that we're top notch for our clients. So show people your life. It doesn't matter whether it's Mark Bruce put a hilarious one out there, because he doesn't work out. He doesn't exercise. He doesn't really meditate. He's like, my meditation is a cupcake. So that's fine. That's okay, because that's his life. So show your true self and what you like to do and what your life looks like. Don't be afraid to share it either. A lot of people are afraid to share it, and don't, because so many people will resonate with you. You'll be surprised.
Love that. Anybody want to add to that? Kevin, I know you do a lot of social media.
Yeah, to Nikki's point, we've built our brand using social media here in Lake Nona and Orlando. And we, you know, going back to thinking outside the box, we lead our community in the Pledge of Allegiance and National Anthem every morning, because everyone's doing distance learning. And so we wanted to keep it normal for all 8 schools in our area. And I have teachers sending me their videos. We interviewed before this today. I interviewed a marketing director in our community. And Thursday night, I'm interviewing 3 high school seniors, and we're going to be talking about how their life has changed. You know, I'm interviewing the valedictorian. She's not even going to be able to give her senior valedictorian speech. So we're going to give her the platform to do it on our community page, which has about 11,000 members. If you've ever heard of BeLive.tv, There's a fee associated with it, but it's really cool that you can interview people, and it's very professional. It's much better than Zoom, but you can only interview up to 4 people at one time. But it's BeLive.tv, and there's like a $30 a month. But if you're going to interview people, to Nikki's point, be authentic. Interview people in your community. How's it impacting them? To Joanna's, interview teachers, nurses. It's, you're a resource. You're not Kevin the realtor. You're Kevin the Rolodex, who just happens to be a realtor.
I love that. I love that. Thank you, Kevin. Joanna, what about you? Do you want to add to that, or Patrick, what we've been talking about?
I just concur with what everyone else is saying, really. I do think about, also we have Red Day coming up, so that's always in my head too, because we always go out there and get involved in our community, and I've been thinking about what we can do virtually and to really help out, because we make such a huge impact every year through that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Patrick, what about you?
Yeah, regarding the script, I would just say, this is Patrick Broglie, your favorite realtor. I wanted to find out what's going on in your world and find out if there was anything that I could do to help you. And then just stop talking. At that point, to be able to just hear somebody, and they will, every single time I make that script and I call and I just reach out and I say hi, they open up, and really people tell us how we can help them, in a multifaceted amount of ways, just to sometimes even be there to listen to them when there's so much other chaos and so much other, dysfunction in the world, to be able to just be there, like I've heard it said, as their resource, as their local expert. We're navigating through this and learning things just as much as our community is. This is unprecedented for all of us, and to be able to just be there and have a conversation, a real, genuine, authentic conversation, I think that's what people are craving the most at this particular point in our lives, for sure.
Thanks, Patrick. Okay, this is a good question. Have any of you adjusted your yearly goals? Nikki, we'll go with you first.
We have. Does it mean that our yearly goal won't go back into play? It may. We really had to focus on what the next 30 days is, because it's changing every day, it's changing every hour, and we really can't predict, what our 90 day is going to be when we're still in limbo. We're basically on a pause button is what we're calling it. We're on a pause button. We're still showing a lot of buyers. It's crazy of how much business is still out there. So that's something that I did want to get across to you guys today, though, is that the business is out there. So set a goal for your next 30 days and make sure that you have your action plan match those goals. So you can't just set a goal, because if you don't have what you're going to do to obtain that goal, you're going to get nowhere. So that's something we've really honed in on for the next 30 days. And then at the end of our 30 days, we'll probably redo another one, and really playing that by ear of when everything starts to get back to whatever our new normal is. We just want to make sure that our business doesn't stop. We are blessed, and I'm so thankful that we are in this business, because we don't have to stop. We are essential, and we can continue to do our calls and be of service to people and help them for their goals, while there's so many that they literally cannot do their job. So whatever we can do to play a role in that and get the economy back. Something I heard yesterday was a really good quote, is that realtors in the real estate industry are going to be the leaders of bringing our economy back. So think about that, resonate with that, and figure out how you're going to play a role in that. So true.
That is true. Thanks, Nikki. Anybody else? Kevin, what about you?
I'm stubborn. I haven't changed my goals yet. We had a great first quarter, and in the month of April, I think we've lost more than we've closed. So we'll see. We still have the goal. Our goal this year was 100 closed transactions for 30 million, and that's still the goal. It hasn't changed. So I guess we'll ask me December 31st how we did.
That's good. Thank you, Kevin. Joanna, Patrick?
Go ahead, Patrick.
Yeah, no, I haven't changed the goals. I think it's really just about following a schedule. And, we do 411s and update them every single week, every single month. And when I do my 411 for the week, it's the same information. I'm looking to do the same thing, you know, every single week. And I'm not changing my goals. I'm not going to reduce my opportunity, because I believe that there is an unfair share of market opportunity. You know, when I'm calling, just for instance, on an expired listing, I don't have near the amount of competition. And there are people that are still motivated sellers in our marketplace. They have to make a move. And, you know, I just have now maybe a tenth of the competition. So it's easy for me. I mean, we're still taking listings every single week in, week out, and it's out there. So I'm not reducing my goal. No.
Awesome. Joanna?
I adjusted my goal slightly. I'm basically focusing on bulletproofing my new construction deals that are still closing. So touching base with them, making sure everything's still moving forward. Things have slowed down in a lot of the communities in the area, especially as far as the builds, but we're still looking on target with a lot of those. So that's what I'm trying to do, bulletproof all my future close.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. And this is from Joanne Owens. So what is your average list to sold price?
What was the question again?
What was that?
Average list to sold price.
Mine is 99%.
Ours is 98.
I'll meet you both in the middle. We're 98 and a half.
99.
Wow. And then her other question is your max listing inventory that you've had at one time.
What was that? The max you said?
That you've had at one time.
18.
Okay.
I think 15.
I'm around 15.
15. Patrick?
Active or active and pending?
I guess, I don't know.
Active.
I did active.
Yeah, active.
Okay. 36.
Okay.
Wow.
Good. She texted this that she at one time had over 100. Joanne Owens. That's amazing.
That's a lot of work.
That's a lot of work.
5 more assistants.
Yeah,
It's less work than 100 buyers, though.
That's Drew's problem, not mine.
And then the other question is, will you take overpriced listings?
What's overpriced in your book?
No.
That.
So it depends. So if they are like 10,000 off, we will, and they're in agreement, then we write it into our listing agreement that if we do not have offers and the feedback that we're looking for in 2 weeks, then we're going to be price adjusting it to where they need to be at the sweet spot. But higher than that, usually no.
Anybody else want to add to that?
Yeah,
I was
I'll
gonna
add.
say,
Go ahead,
we've
Kevin.
done similar to Nikki, where we've written it in that if we don't get it by the first 2 weeks, we don't get an offer, then we're going to reduce after the first 2 weeks. We've also, you know, and I think for everyone up here, I think they would all agree that an overpriced listing is more of a headache than anything, because they have unrealistic expectations and they're going to always be calling you. How come my home's not being shown? How come they didn't write an offer? What do you do? It's just, you know, it's just more of a headache than it is. So it's easier to say no and then let them call you when it's expired with 3 other listings, and now they'll listen to you. Oh yeah, my home is worth $475 and not $525.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's all about setting the right expectation, because if you're not honest and forward with them right away, you're going to end up beating your head against a wall.
Mm-hmm.
And they're looking to us right now, because when we do come out of this, we don't know. We don't have an exact gauge of what the pricing is going to be. I'm already seeing a lot of price reductions, and I do feel the pricing is going to come down a little. So I don't want to be with a seller that is stuck on a price from a couple of months ago where it was a higher price evaluation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And Patrick, do you want to add to that?
Yeah, I will. I mean, I walked away from a listing this weekend. You know, she was at a number and I'm like showing her, you know, we talk about, you know, bold scripts and things, you know, she's at a number of 350 and my number's like top list price of 315. I'm like, where do you see 350? I don't see 350. We're looking at the same comps, you know, and I walked away from it. I mean, you know, it's just not even worth it. It's actually costing me money to hold their listing active on the market. and it just sit there and not sell. I mean, it's costing me more stress, more aggravation, more worry, you know, a lack of expectation, you know, on my part and their part, you know, and they're upset and I'm upset. It's not even worth my time, you know. Either you want to get in an alignment that the property is going to be able to sell, that we're going to have a price that'll cause the property to sell, or you're going to sit on the market month after month after month after month after month, you know.
I love that. I love your confidence because, you know, when you're working with clients, they're attracted, you know, to that
Yeah.
confidence. A lot of people, I think, shy away from that, but people are attracted to people who have that level 10 confidence. So I love that you guys are that confident about that. The next question is, what does your schedule look like?
Oh, my schedule has had to switch up, I'll be honest, and it's been a very hard adjustment. If my husband was on here right now, he'd be like, wow, she's been a bear the last couple of weeks, because I am one that does not like my time blocking in my schedule to be disrupted. And with virtual learning and everything, it's had to get disrupted. So now my workouts have been switched to the morning. So I'm up by 5:30, work out, and then I am on emails and anything that I need to tend to right away while the kids are having breakfast, and then get them rolling on their virtual learning in the office by 9:30 and hitting the phones right away. Because then in the afternoons is when I schedule all of my Zoom conferences or in-person meetings for the afternoon and evening.
Do you find, and I just would like, I know you're going to go through your schedule, but do you guys find that as agents, because I know we always are to focus on our one thing, but do you find with all the Zoom and all these, you know, the virtual things, is that affecting your business? Is it helping your business? If you were to change that, how would you change that as far as your schedule? You feel like it's a lot to where it's taking you off, distracting you at all too much, or is it super helpful?
On one side, I feel like it's huge. It's really helpful because we do such a wide area that sometimes my day can be in the car, and I'm having to do my phone calls in the car too for follow-ups because I'm traveling or commuting to a listing appointment for that day if I'm in Bradenton that afternoon. So Zoom has been great on that level, and also on the level that it's helped connect us with those sellers who couldn't get here to list with us. So we've still been able to be face-to-face. What I have found is that by 5 o'clock, that many conversations on what's going on in the world and also technology, I don't even know if there's a term out there for technology drained. That's basically how I feel. I feel like I've been looking at a computer and technology all day that I don't want to look at it for 5 more hours. So you do get drained that way, which is why we implemented our meds on our team of making sure that we're making time for ourselves as well.
I love that. I love that because some people just can't do that much technology. Kevin, what about you? What does your schedule look like, and anything you want to add to what Nikki said?
Used to, I get up at 4 most days, and I used to be at the gym by 5, ready to rock and roll, just jacked up on energy, and then ready to go. Once I got 2 high school boys, so once they're out the door by 6:30, you know, I was ready to go. But the one thing I've had to change is if I weren't working out, I now work out around noon, which I never ever would do. But it breaks up my day. It breaks up looking at the computer. It breaks up making phone calls and text messages and Facebook. I've always been a big believer in naps. I know that doesn't necessarily go with the Keller Williams philosophy, but as soon as this is over, I'm going to shut my phone. I'm going to respond to all my text messages first, and then I'm going to go lay down for 30, 45 minutes with no technology, no nothing. And if I fall asleep, great. If I don't, you know, that's fine. I'll get back up, but I'll be jacked up, ready to go on energy again. And so I just try to break it up, specifically with the COVID-19. I'm really good at time blocking, and I'm really good at taking breaks. You know, I know, like right now, I've been sitting down for 2 hours now. I'm ready to walk around and just move around. So I think it's important. My wife, we're a husband-wife team, so I'm in the downstairs office. She's in the upstairs office. We've learned to work really well together. So a lot of the husband-wives are struggling because they're now in the same house for 24 hours a day for 4 weeks now. And by no means do we have it down, but we're 5 years ahead of everybody else. So that's been really good as well. You know, if she wants to take a walk by herself, that's okay. I know she needs that time. Something's happened upstairs. She'll tell me about it when she gets down, or vice versa.
Okay, awesome. Joanna, what about your schedule?
Well, I try to make a point every single day to lead generate, whether it's touching my database or reaching out to new people. It's important to keep in the business. It's very easy with what's going on to, watch TV or go outside and just avoid getting to our basics of what we are ingrained in us every single day, which is our lead gen. We have to make sure that's our priority every day. And the gyms are closed, so yeah, everything is online. You could do yoga. I do yoga. I do the classes through the computer now. So
Yeah.
we just have, it's a new norm that we have to get used to. That's all. So functioning throughout the day.
Okay. Thanks, Joanna. And Patrick, what about you?
Yeah, I think, I will say, to answer your question, I think that, at some point I have to learn how to say no, right, in a way that maybe other people are receptive to, because we still have to do the daily activities to move us in the direction that we intend to move. And, while all of the virtual learning is great, and while all of the webinars and Zoom calls are fantastic, at some point, I have to look out for our business too. I have to be able to make sure that the activities are being done. So that the schedule definitely has been disrupted. It is not the norm by any means. I was working or trying to work from home for 2 weeks, and I've done that on and off in the past. I can do it, easily, but it's not a preference, Right now, there's nobody in the office, so I'm coming in, I'm like the only one in the entire office. And it's 7,000 square foot. I feel like I have it all to myself. I'm walking up and down the aisles and the halls, talking on the phone. So it is what it is. But to be able to learn how to say no, and I'm going to take this time, these 4 hours, to get on the phone and just reach out to people. And it's really, at the end of the day, it's about having conversations, real estate conversations. I don't care what kind of conversation you have, just have the conversation. Make 20 contacts every single day. And I don't care what sort of an environment you're in, you're going to do business. I mean, there's still opportunity in our marketplace all day long, guarantee. I mean, we're just, putting a deal together today, bringing a buyer on one of our listings. I mean, they're out there, we're rocking and rolling. So
I
all
will
good.
get to our last question, and I'm going to kind of combine it, and it's 2 questions combined into one. But what is your greatest opportunity with listings? And what do you feel will help you get to the next level? So, where's your greatest opportunity for listings, and for you and everyone listening, what do they need to do, would you believe, to get to that next level? So who'd like to go first?
I can go first. So my greatest opportunity that I have found right now is our database. I've tapped into database that really wasn't interested anymore 2 years ago, because they just decided to stay put because they couldn't buy anywhere, so they didn't want to sell. Now having a conversation with them of, look, we may be able to negotiate a better deal for you on your buy side, but still get you a very good outcome on your sell side too. So we've really tapped into our database, because we have a ton in there that we can reach out to all the time. So we've tapped into that. Also our circle prospecting, continuing to keep on that consistency. Consistency now is so important for your next 90 days. If you keep consistent and keep a number of how many people you want to contact a day, stick with it, do it, because it will pay off in 90 days. You may not see it right now. You may not see it in 2 weeks. I promise you though, you will see it in 90 days for sure. And that's basically what I can tell them, is make sure you stick to the basics and the activities and come from contribution, and then piggyback it with tripling down on your video. That's why I'm dressed like I am today. I was doing video this morning with Kyle out at Benderson. So making sure that you're getting those projects done in that downtime that you wanted to get done but couldn't get done because you were too busy. Well, now get those done so that you have it all out of the way for when that light switch flips open, that you have to be so busy again. So.
Thanks.
Well, I was so listening to Nikki so well. What was the question again?
Okay, what is your greatest opportunity with listings, and what do you feel will help you get to the next level? And the agents, we're speaking to the agents to get to the next level.
Everything that Nikki said, I piggyback on as far as the opportunity right now, especially just calling, in bold, they gave us I forget what it's called, the D3, whatever.
DT, 2.
Yes, that. Instead of doing it once a week, do it once a day. You know, if it's A and W and text T, that's your Monday. And then your next one is that's the Tuesday. So that's what we've been doing. We got 4 or 5 hours to make phone calls all day. What else are we going to do? So to me, to get to the next level is I love spending time and talking to agents who are ahead of me. So when I started with Keller Williams, I'm like, man, all I want to do is sell $5 million in a year. I started hanging around the agents that were selling 5 million. Then I'm like, man, I want to sell 10. So I started selling 10. Well, last year our goal was 20. We sold 22 and a half, but we were spending time with those agents in that 20 to 30. Well, this year our goal's 30. So we're hanging out with $40 million agents because we want to know what does it take. And in Orlando yesterday, I got a phone call from Ginny Weimer. They sell like 750 homes a year in Orlando. And we're business partners in a different venture. But the simple fact that I have access to this lady that I can call her anytime and they sell, I don't know, Jamie, do you know her volume? It's like 500 million.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's enormous. Yeah.
Yeah, she's like top 50 in the country. And so we double date with her and her husband. It's like, oh my God, I get to hang out with. So hang out with these other agents that you want to, if your goal is to grow the business up, then hang out with people who've been successful growing up. If you want to grow widthwise, if you're a solo agent like Joanna and you want to be a solo agent and sell $20 million, that's the lady to talk to. Not me, I have leverage. Nikki, she has leverage. Patrick has leverage. Talk to Joanna if you want to be a single agent. So that's what I love, talking to other agents. And that's why I'm here now, because Jamie knows I love to teach and I love to share what's been successful for us.
Yeah, and I appreciate you saying that, because I know there's a lot of agents that maybe are scared to reach out or hesitant to reach out. So I would encourage the agents listening that all of the panelists, they would absolutely take a call from you and, you know, give you advice on, you know, your business. I know that I'm where I'm at because people went before me and helped me. And I know that all of you are willing to do that for the agents listening. So I appreciate you saying that, Kevin.
Mm-hmm.
Great. Joanna, what about you?
Well, first of all, I want to thank Karen. I know you did that experiment last week with the marketing and Command. That's where my focus has been. I'm really delving into Command right now. So I found that your office is really doing awesome training. I'm getting on there with Lauren, trying to really, you know, leverage that, because I think we're going to see a huge increase through Command in terms of once we master it and get it going. That's what I'm trying to do right now.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. And Patrick?
Yeah, you know, I think if I was a newer agent or a brand new agent, you know, I would just communicate in any way that I can possibly do so. It comes down to the activities. Whatever I put in to the business, I am going to return. And you know, also remember too, that it might take twice the amount of activities that it normally took, you know, and when we have the ability to get to the other side, you know, we're going to have that much more opportunity for ourselves and our business and our families and our communities to really make an impact in other people's lives. So really laser focusing on what am I doing for my business today? How many, and it really is a numbers game. At the end of the day, it's a numbers game. You know, it's a mathematical equation where I'm looking to get, you know, I went over to family reunion and they're talking, you know, about the same things. It's a mathematical equation, right? If I have all of the numbers, right, and I can know exactly how many contacts it takes to be able to set an appointment, how many appointments do I need to go on to take a listing, how many listings do I need to carry at all times to be able to sell X amount of properties this year, well, then that's what I need to do. That's the amount of phone calls that I need to make. That's the amount of contacts that I need to have every single day. And when I do that over and over and over and over and over and over again, my language gets better, my skill set gets better, my ability to perform gets better, my ability to convert gets better, and it just snowballs really from there. So the number one thing of the one thing is lead generation. That's why it's the one thing of the one thing. So how many contacts am I making every single day? And right now we can get distracted big time. You know, I know it's happening for me, you know, and I got to remain focused, laser focus on the activities that will drive the business forward. And that's real estate conversations, period.
Yeah, and when you're thinking, when you're doing that much lead gen, you know, all of you I know would agree that you just got to love people. You know, when you're coming from a place that you want to make a difference in people's lives, it's easy to pick up that phone. It's easy to make those connections. And that's what I'm hearing from all of you, that it really comes down to is that you love people and you're not really focused on a paycheck, but you're focused on how you can make a difference in others' lives. And that's win-win. You know, I was reading this morning, John Maxwell, as far as what really sets leaders apart. And I want to leave this with the agents, with all of you. And then I'm going to have Kieran jump on because Laura Rody has given us something that he's going to share to close. But the question you really want to ask yourself is, what do you want? You know, why do you want it? And how bad do you want it? You know, and when you can answer that question, that's what sets leaders apart. And whatever the majority is doing, if you really want to capture the market, do the opposite. So what everybody else is doing, whatever the herd's doing, do something completely opposite, because they're going to usually take the easy road. And those leaders that take that narrow road are the ones that, you know, they're set apart. And I've watched leaders for 20 plus years and coached them. And it's always that small percentage that says, you know what, whatever everybody else is doing, I'm going to do just the opposite and follow that. So Kieran, before I bring him on, I just want to thank the panel. You guys are an inspiration to everybody. I just thank you for your leadership and who you are, and just really who you are and what you represent to so many that are watching this. I know that there are going to be agents from all over different brokerages. In fact, there are some watching this right now. And so I just thank you because, you know, if I have an idea and you have an idea and we share it, we have more, right? And I just appreciate you sharing your wisdom, your knowledge, everything, your experience, because I know how valuable it is. So thank you very much. And Kieran, you want to share a little bit of what Laura had sent over to you?
Yeah, so Laura was supposed to be on a panel today, obviously, and she was very sorry she couldn't make it. So she did ask me to share this, and she gave us permission to send this out to you guys if anyone's interested. So my email is in the chat. So you just need to email me if you'd like to get a copy of this. So basically it's, she kind of ran us through what her presentation is right now with all the virtual things people are doing. So when Laura's doing her lead generation, when she's making her phone calls and she's talking to sellers, if she gets somebody on the phone who sounds like they could be a potential seller, she's taking them through a brief qualifying questionnaire, right? Just asking them some questions, blah, blah, blah. And then if they get to the point where they say, okay, yeah, let's talk about it, she's basically sending them this packet in between that call, and then whenever they set up a listing appointment through Zoom or over the phone or whatever that looks like. So she said I could share this with you guys, so I'm just going to start it here. It's basically a really simple PowerPoint that plays in a video format. I'm going to skip through a little bit.
Instead of trying to remember the monthly fleet history,
I'm going to skip through a little quickly here just because there's some videos and stuff in it. But it takes them through, tells them about her team, her business, right? If you're a single agent, you're talking about maybe Keller Williams and your business. Doesn't need to be all the different team members. Testimonials from clients, all this sort of stuff. And then they go into their value proposition. So they have a couple videos built into this, which you could easily replace with your own little videos that you record. So, you know, here's a demonstration basically of doing a virtual walkthrough, right? This is something that clients are going to want to see right now because we're in an environment where we're maybe not, you know, like Kevin said earlier, he's getting one showing a week where he was getting maybe 10 a week before. So this is just kind of demonstrating the technology and the ability that they have to continue to service that listing, do virtual walkthroughs for buyers and buyers agents, and still be able to promote the property, right? So that's something that was in there. Let me skip ahead. So they talk about listing videos. They don't just do cookie cutter listing videos, right? They have really fun, energetic listing videos, right? So again, I'm not going to play the whole thing, but we're going to skip. Upbeat, energetic music.
And is complemented gas station, hair salon, post office.
Right. So really great videos that, so basically they're just taking their whole value proposition, they're putting it in here, they're sending this ahead of time. And then when they get on the call with the client, she's also got this up set on a screen share like I'm doing right now. And then the clients had an opportunity to come up with some questions, ask them about certain things. So like Nikki was talking earlier, videos
A
king,
perfectly
right?
charming Siesta Key getaway.
This is a lot more
Sandy Beaches with
engaging than just a
and
PDF
steams.
that she maybe emailed over ahead of time, right? There's stuff she can watch and they can get a connection with them. So again, Laura said we're free to share this with anyone who wants it. So send me an email or post your email in the chat if you'd like me to send you a copy of this. And Laura was happy to share that with you guys, and I'm sure she'd be happy to answer any questions you had about it. If you wanted to know, who did you use to shoot those videos, or what system were you using for this? I'm sure her and her team would be more than happy to help you with that sort of stuff. So it's about, if I send you the thing, it takes about 7 minutes to go through the whole thing. So you could do that yourself. I didn't want to do that right now, obviously, because we're on a time crunch. But it's an awesome, awesome piece of marketing. And yes, check it out. That's it.
Awesome. Thank you, Kieran. And thanks again to the panel, you guys. We are going to be holding another meeting at the last Tuesday of this month, and we'll announce that. But I appreciate you, and thanks for tuning in. All right. Have a great day. Thank you.
All right, guys. And I'll leave the chat window open for anyone who wants to drop their email in there. I won't end the meeting just yet. So just drop it in there and I'll send this over.
Bye.
Here.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm still here. Joanne, you're muted if you were talking.
Joanne, do you really have a tiara on?
Yes, I have a tiara on.
Let me see. I love it.
And I have some of my family, heirlooms on because, well, I was celebrating Stephanie's first day on the, job at a sales rally. So, I had to get all.
So you have a martini as well?
Love it.
Actually, I was drinking out of a water bottle, but with my tiara, I felt that this was much better suited.
I thought you were joking on the text.
No, I'm not joking. I talk about tiaras. Anyway, sounds like you guys had a great call. Good job.
Yeah, they did a great job. Great job.
All right. Well, I can leave now. See you guys.
Bye.